How's your week been, guys? We've had a decent amount of releases, and today we've actually got a mixed bag episode. We've got a lot of really exciting stuff to cover for 2023, some brand new information which is just incredible. We've also got some slightly disappointing news as well. Listen, for anybody who likes to stay up to date in terms of sneaker releases, sneaker leaks, sneaker rumors, and just generally stay up to date in the sneaker world, make sure you subscribe to the channel and chuck me a follow on Instagram because I keep you up to date on all of it. Now, release recap. Let's start off with one that happened earlier this week. I believe it might have just been for the EU and the UK, and of course that was the Nike sneakers drop for the Huff Nike Dunk. You wouldn't know what colorway you got until you literally opened the box and checked it out for yourself. As nice as that sounds, of course you actually had to hit on these to experience that surprise unboxing, which unfortunately didn't happen to me. Let me know if you managed to get them or not down in the comments. Now, the orange lobster dunks is another one that's kind of half released and half hasn't. A lot of skate shops here in the EU and the UK have already at least loaded up their raffles. Some of them have actually released them. Again, for the EU and the UK, the Nike sneakers release is going to be December the 5th. That is tomorrow, Monday. And then I believe that there's also another release date for you guys out in the US, which is December the 20th, which is going to be your skate shop release. Let me know if you managed to get these things. I believe there was also exclusive access that went around as well. So yeah, definitely let me know your experience down in the comment section. And then one of the more surprising or random releases was the Off-White Terraforma, being like the first Virgil Abloh designed sneaker from scratch. And these actually dropped during a Nike sneakers live stream, which I unfortunately missed. However, I believe there is going to be a proper release in the future because they have in fact loaded up on the US Nike sneakers app. And they're going to be dropping on December the 21st. But we got to get into this upcoming stuff. Like I said, we got some pretty dope stuff to get into. So let's get into it. Let's start by talking about a release that is right around the corner, which is happening. We've got a new release date now, and that is the Drake Nocta Air Force 1 certified Loverboy. These were previously rumored to drop on December the 2nd. However, they have now been loaded up on the Nike sneakers app for December the 8th. I do think that a decent amount of people are excited about this pair of shoes. I just think the general sentiment is that not much has actually changed with this sneaker. It's literally just a triple white Air Force 1. You need a fresh pair if you're a fan of Drake. I do think these things are pretty clean, but yeah, that's about it. Moving on, we've got some on-foot looks at the highly anticipated Jordan 4 Craft SE. This is a sneaker that is quickly becoming one of the more anticipated pairs of Jordans for 2023. Again, these are going to be dropping on February the 11th next year, and I gotta say, they are still looking clean. I do really like this pair of sneakers. There has been a bunch of different Jordan 4s this year. It's nice to get something a little bit different. Just the more images that we're seeing of this one definitely gets me more and more excited for the release. Like I said, guys, we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to look forward to for 2023. This is the Jordan 1 Celtics, or this picture here is the DMP Jordan 1, which is what this Celtics colorway is kind of based off of, or at least it has the exact same color blocking. And we actually have the first leaked image of this pair of sneakers, and that is this right here. So granted, it is a pretty terrible image, but from this picture, you can see what the green color is like. It seems to be a little bit brighter. And also the color blocking is now confirmed with this picture, which I think is going to get a decent amount of people excited about. As the rumors and leaks went, it is very, very similar to the DMP Jordan 1s, just without all of the Jordan branding and just keeping it a little bit more true to just a regular Jordan 1. And of course, it's going to be dropping next year on April the 15th, if everything goes to plan. Another sneaker release, which is right around the corner, which I know a lot of people are excited about, including myself. Hopefully this is my first retail W. Take a look at this here. This is the platinum white Adidas Forum Low Bad Bunny collaboration. These have loaded up through a bunch of different raffles. They're also loaded up on the Adidas Confirmed app for December the 10th. Start entering those raffles if you do want this sneaker. Another 2023 release, which I think as of right now where it stands seems to be the most hyped sneaker drop for next year, and we finally have images of what it's going to look like, and that is this one right here, the Air Jordan 3 White Cement Reimagined. These are the rendered images, and I gotta say the person doing these renders did a phenomenal job, because take a look at the actual images. It pretty much looks identical to those renders. Here it is. Now, from these pictures, this is the first thing that came to mind when I saw them. I can't really see too much Reimagined going on here. It does seem to be very tumbled. It does seem to be very nice. It does have some of that kind of vintage vibe with the midsole. As you can see, it looks kind of sailed out, maybe even the laces as well. I just think that this is a very accurate representation of a Jordan 3 white cement. Hopefully we start seeing some on-foot shots, maybe some more detailed shots very soon. But like I said, the release is 2023, March the 11th. All right, and this is where we get into some of the more disappointing stuff, at least from my point of view. I really did not expect this. So remember a while ago, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how Jordan Brand was planning to release another Spider-Man Jordan 1. We've actually got some images of what these things look like, and they're pretty wild. Take a look at this here, guys. You are looking at the upcoming Spider-Man Jordan 1. Now, to be specific, this is the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, so you can see why they went a little bit more crazy with this colorway. But they went crazy. There's different paneling as on this back tab and around here. There's a mixture of like patent leather, like up here by the ankle collar. That is actually shiny patent leather. And then you've got, I don't even know what this is, like some kind of pepperoni kind of thing going on. Let me get up some of the better, slightly better images that we have on this pair of sneakers over here. So as you can see, there's a little bit more light for these shots. And hey, it could look pretty cool on foot. I might be wrong, but as of right now, I'm not a fan of this. Let me know your thoughts on these down in the comment section. Is this what you thought? Did you think they would go this crazy? And just to remind you guys, apparently these are going to be dropping in the summer of 2023. No specific month, just at some point in the summer. All right, we've got a little bit of dunk news. We've actually got official images of a pair of Nike Dunks that we spoke about a while ago. Take a look at this here. This is the Nike Dunk Low, I guess you could kind of say midnight navy colorway. All over navy and white with the gray suede Nike swoosh. It's also got slightly more retro branding on the tongue tag. Apparently these are going to be dropping before the end of the year, so in the next couple weeks. So if this is a colorway that you do like, which I gotta say it is super clean, it's a fantastic colorway, I would definitely be on the lookout for raffles that start to load up pretty soon. Now another Nike Dunk Low, which is a little bit more interesting in terms of they've changed things up a little bit. These are going to be dropping next year. Take a look at this here. This is the Nike Dunk Low Year of the Rabbit. As you can see with this semi-translucent outsole, you can see 2011 in huge text. And that of course is when Nike dropped the Air Force 1 Year of the Rabbit. The colors on this sneaker, just like the Air Force 1, is inspired by a milk cream flavored candy which is popular in China. These are official images. These are going to be dropping in January 2023, so right around the corner, and they are looking relatively cool. All right, time to talk about probably one of the more exciting pieces of news that we just got about Off-White and Nike. Apparently we're going to be getting a whole lot more from the collaboration. Since Virgil Abloh unfortunately passed away, we were kind of speculating what was going to happen in terms of Nike Off-White designs. Recently, Virgil Abloh's wife Shannon actually did an interview, and in this interview with the New York Times, she was wearing the Off-White Nike Jordan 4 beret. And in that interview, she actually said that at least a year's worth of Off-White Nike products will be releasing moving forwards. And obviously, since Shannon was wearing the Bred 4s, a lot of people started speculating, you know, we've been seeing this sneaker, it's supposed to drop for a long time. Are we going to be getting a release of the Off-White Jordan 4 Bred? Well, it's definitely looking likely with the fact that we're going to be getting a lot more Off-White sneakers next year in 2023. Now also, recently there was a Virgil Abloh The Codes Architecture exhibit in Miami, which showcased a bunch of Off-White Nike collaboration sneakers like these Air Forces and a bunch of different colorways of the Air Terraforma. So take a look at some of these Air Forces. We got an orange colorway, a burgundy colorway, a black and red color. There's this beige color as well. I believe that is the same kind of cherry or burgundy color. We've got some Off-White Air Force 1 mids. As you can see in the background, there's some more graffiti versions. This crazy metallic silver one, another kind of graffiti looking one with potentially a skeleton in the background, I believe. These Dunks that were definitely supposed to release, I believe in September earlier, that was the big leak. Another Terraforma, some other Terraformas. So looking at all of these sneakers, this is very well what potentially could drop in 2023. A lot of these different shoes, obviously not all of them, they could just be samples and the finished products are something completely different. It all seems to be in pretty good taste. Obviously Virgil Abloh had such a presence on the streetwear streetwear and sneaker community that it's really good to see that his artwork will live on and release, because we love the designs and we want to see them. Right, moving on, we've got a pair of sneakers which I just wanted to add in here because I think that they look super dope and super futuristic. This is the Cold Wall Converse collaboration on the Geoforma boot. So there's two different colorways, this neon green, which actually I kind of like. I don't think these are going to be incredibly hard to get or super hyped up, but they are going to be dropping on December the 20th. There's also this white colorway, which again is pretty cool, and I think it's good for Converse to try and come up with some new stuff and not just heavily rely on the OG stuff that they're known for. Speaking of crazy designs, I possibly have one of the world's ugliest sneakers that I'm just about to show you guys, and it comes from Nike. Now, Nike has been leaning into the ISPA line quite a bit. They've dropped some very cool silhouettes, but on the other hand, they've also dropped some very questionable ones, but it seems like they've taken this to a whole new level. Take a look at this here. Yes, I know, what the hell is that? Have I scarred you for life? Quite possibly. This sneaker looks straight out of The Hills Have Eyes or something. Just super creepy. I'm not entirely sure the full story behind this sneaker, how Nike is going to be able to spin this one, what kind of story are they going to put alongside this sneaker, maybe sustainability to some aspect, but this literally looks like trash. Like, I'm not even saying that this is a trash sneaker in that sense, I'm saying like it literally looks like a pair of shoes that's been in the garbage. Really disturbing earthy tone to it. I'm trying to find some reason to imagine why this sneaker exists. Let me know if you like this sneaker. Let me know if you want to give it a fun name. That could be hilarious down in the comments. But yeah, apparently these are actually going to be dropping in 2023. Speaking of pretty wild themed Nike sneakers, we've got some Christmas collaborations. Of course, Nike loves to throw some Christmas sneakers out there during the holiday season. This is the Air Force 1 High Utility 2.0 Christmas. I don't know, it's fun, why not? I'm not gonna hate on this sneaker. These should be dropping very soon, within the next couple weeks. So yeah, let me know what you think of these, and let me know what you think of like Christmas themed sneakers in general. Nike has filed another lawsuit against I guess Customiser, you could kind of say, but this one's for trademark infringement. This lawsuit is targeted at Cool KIY and Omi, which I have never heard of before, but I'm sure I've seen these things floating around online. So here is a little graph at what Jordan Brand has produced with these Jordan 1 highs and what Cool KIY knockoffs look like, and then the Omi knockoffs, very similar. Are they like the same thing or something? Because they all have the lightning bolt. They've done the Ben & Jerry's colorway with the lightning bolt. They've done the very expensive Freddy Krueger's, and then of course the Chicago colorway on this pair of dunks over here. Very interestingly here, it says in the lawsuit, Nike also takes aim at China-based manufacturer Jaimen Wandering Planet Import and Export Co. I think that's how you say it. Filing states that Wandering Planet played a pivotal role in the infringement by providing the resources to produce the shoes for KIY and Omi. Wandering Planet knowingly participated in a scheme to intentionally create confusion in the marketplace and capitalize on it, the lawsuit reads. This one does seem pretty cut and dry if they literally are getting manufactured fake shoes from China and then slapping this lightning bolt logo on them. There may be something more to this story, but from what I'm seeing, from what this article says, it seems to be pretty straightforward. Now, in the midst of Nike doing other battles, they're also battling bots, something that I think a lot of us can applaud. They recently put out on their Nike sneakers app a whole speech talking about how they go about bot protection and how they go about kind of just making sure that actual people get their sneaker releases. They said that they use a number of tools to identify and remove bots from the platform. This includes measuring various interactions on the digital platforms to detect bot activity, count verifications, and IP reputation. Verify that users and entries are authentic. This is the pretty wild part, because according to Nike, depending on the popularity of the sneakers launching, bots can make up about 10 to 40% of total submissions. The brand also claims that it has a team of engineers that removes as many as 20 million bot submissions from the global global sneakers launch monthly. 20 million bots a month that Nike sneakers removes. That doesn't seem to include any of the ones that they potentially missed or did not add to that number sheet. In summary, moving forward, they are removing bot entries from the Nike sneakers app every single month, and they're going to continue to lean into their new way of doing releases, which is exclusive access, dropping stuff during live streams, and just generally making it a little bit more, I guess, human in terms of the approach when it comes to dropping a sneaker, not just having it up on the app. It looks like at least Nike sneakers is trying, which is a very good thing. So last week we spoke about Jerry Lorenzo, Adidas, and Fear of God, and this collaboration and how it's going to materialize in the future. Adidas just lost their biggest collaborator, and they look to fill that void. They stated that they really want to lean into what Fear of God has to offer, and then we saw this whole new campaign of Adidas basketball, which seemed like it was heavily inspired by Jerry Lorenzo. That campaign was this right here, and if you take a look at this clothing, you can see, like, you can really see why this looks very heavily Fear of God, I guess, inspired, or you would think that it's a collaboration. A lot of it, you know, the mock necks, the very minimal branding, it's very, very Fear of God-ish. Even looking at the hoodies, they look super oversized. They look very, very familiar to what we've seen with Fear of God Essentials, and that's what we assumed was going to happen. Jerry Lorenzo is working with Adidas on a new basketball campaign. Apparently, this Remember the Why campaign and collection launching this holiday season had nothing to do with Fear of God or Jerry Lorenzo. So just wanted to clear that up, but essentially they still are reiterating the same message. Fear of God, Jerry Lorenzo, Adidas, they do look to do a lot more in the future, which should be 2023. And it says over here, both houses look forward to sharing more in the first half of 2023 and remain enthusiastic about the vision for our collective partnership. All right, speaking of Adidas and their collaborative void, let's actually talk about the void, which of course is Yeezy, aka Kanye West. So obviously last week, or maybe even the week before that, we spoke about Kanye West's new clothing line, which is the Ye 24. Basically a whole bunch of repurposed Yeezy, Gap, Adidas, and Balenciaga products that he's going to be plastering with Ye 24 on. And of course, selling for $20 each. Well, guess what? He actually dropped it, and this is the line. This is the chaos that went down when he actually released this collection. So as you can see, there's a bunch of people waiting outside to get in, and then scenes on the inside. Reminds me very much of what happened with Yeezy, Gap, Balenciaga when they had like the trash bags. This is literally just a tarp laid out on the floor with a bunch of different clothing items. People are going through, picking it out, and they literally purchased these products for $20 each. There's some hoodies in a box. Apparently this was at Art Basel in Miami, and as you can see, is Balenciaga with Ye 24 on it. All of this stuff. Yeah, it seemed like a pretty decent turnout for what it was. This was the, I guess, post that I don't even know who made. Limited to 4 per person. But yeah, apparently there's going to be more drops in the future at different places, but just wanted to give you guys an update on that Ye 24 merch. He's actually selling it. All right, so this next one is pretty interesting. Just wanted to throw this one in here. So we know how ridiculous auctions can get for Jordan sneakers or just sneakers in general. Well, take a look at this here, because Michael Jordan's game-worn Air Jordan 1 from 1985 is being auctioned off. This is the actual images of the sneakers, and yes, they are literally game worn, and they're going to be auctioned off by Christie's.com. Starting price is only $150,000. These are probably going to be at least $1 million. Come on, surely. Either way, they look to be in pretty decent condition. There is obviously some signs of age over here on the back, but listen, that's all within the theme, right? You love the Jordan 1 Lost and Founds. This is the same thing, just more authentic. I'm not entirely sure when these are going to be auctioned off, but I would be very interested to find out how much they end up going for. So as soon as we figure that out, I will let you guys know and give you a little update. That is pretty much it. That's all the news I got for you guys today. Of course, I want to thank you so much for coming through once again for another video. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one. But until then.